So, Glenn.
Mike.
Say we're this car, my chariot.
Yes.
My Hyundai Elantra is a Transformer, an Autobot.
Yes.
2 questions. What part of them are we inside? And what part of them is the gear shift? The shifter, this thing right here. I don't know cars. What is that called? A shifter? Shifter.
Well, that's definitely a penis.
Hello, everybody. Welcome again to Keystone Film Review. We just saw Transformers!
More than meets the eye.
Rise of the Beasts?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the full title? It goes ...
The bestialities.
Yeah, Rise of the Beast. It is directed by Stephen Capel Jr., written by several people, and starring Anthony Ramos, Dominique Fishback, Peter Cullen, is that his name? The Optimus Prime guy?
I think so?
Ron Perlman.
They're like all the way at the bottom.
I know, it's so stupid. Michelle Yeoh is in there.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Kelly's in there, but for some reason higher than Peter Cullen. And Peter Dinklage, Michelle Yeoh, Ron Perlman, Pete Davidson, Liza Koshy, John DiMaggio, of course. Great John DiMaggio. Coleman Domingo, Cristo Fernandez. And of course, this is the latest film in the Transformers franchise. What number is this? Like 9? They have
I don't know.
nearly as many movies as the Fast and Furious franchise, but in 5 years less time. So, maybe we should stop giving shit to the Fast and Furious franchise. Start pouring on Transformers.
I do want to see
How many there are?
Yeah.
So, of course, as with most blockbuster franchises, I don't really care about Transformers. Beast Wars was my shit growing up. Why can't I not talk today? Beast Wars was my shit growing up. I love Beast Wars.
7?
No, there's 7 and there's 7 just Transformers movies, I believe.
Then there's Bumblebee.
Bumblebee and then this, so I think that's 9.
Well, I think this one is 7, so that'd be 8.
I call shenanigans on that. I feel like whatever. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
There's a lot. A lot. And yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of the franchise in general. Really haven't liked any of them. Not even the first one. I was very disappointed with the first one. You got to remember, this was like me transitioning from being a blockbuster lover to more pretentious films. You can make fun of me and call me pretentious. I don't give a shit.
I was there too. What the fuck?
Oh, is that on the outside? Oh, gotta.
Holy shit. All right.
But yeah, not a huge fan. Didn't really even like the first one, although that is the best one. I'll give it that. I don't like this thing. What the fuck is it doing?
It's
trying to get. I'm so glad my windows are up right now.
It's something from The Mist, man. Holy shit.
Imagine if in The Mist they were freaking out over that tiny thing.
You guys saw the picture, but it's bigger in person.
It is bigger in person.
It's huge.
But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Transformers? I gotta reset. I'm sorry.
For the franchise itself, I actually enjoyed the first one.
Where did it go?
It's right next to your mirror. I enjoyed the first one. Mr. Sam Witwicky, Mr. Shia LaBeouf himself, Megan Fox was great. The whole thing, it was cheesy, campy. It was what it was, and it did it the best out of the whole little series. I think the second one was decent. It was not as good, but from the second one, it just kept getting both worse and worse. Yeah. And then they kind of soft rebooted it in a way with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Mark Wahlberg.
And I think they made 2 of those. I didn't watch the second Mark Wahlberg. And then I didn't see Bumblebee either, even though I heard that one was actually good.
Bumblebee was actually pretty good. So when I said that Transformers 1 was the best, I lied. Bumblebee's the best out of the franchise, in my opinion.
But as for like obviously continuing, I did not care to see this. I mean,
Yeah.
It looked okay as far as it just all of them have progressively looked exactly the same. Like there's no CGI upgrade or anything. They've all looked exactly the same this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So there was nothing that really sparked my interest. Allspark in this one as well. Even though there was a giant that thing is fucking huge, man. Even though there was a giant monkey bot going rah and all, and the giant cheetah and stuff.
Yeah. So my biggest problem with this movie and even Bumblebee, while I enjoyed Bumblebee, is that they're both prequels to even the first of the Shia LaBeouf ones.
Yeah.
I can't speak for the Mark Wahlberg ones because I never watched them.
Those are after Shia.
But yeah, so they're prequels. And the problem with prequels that have all the same characters as the ones in the future is that there's no stakes. Like in this one, you could call this a spoiler, but if you don't see this from the first 5 minutes, you honestly don't pay attention to the timeline of the movies. So the whole thing is like, oh, world's going to be destroyed. We know that didn't happen. So from 5 minutes in, there's no stakes within this movie because we know it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Pretty much the majority of the characters are in, at the very least, the first Michael Bay one from 2007. So we know that they're not going to die, or if they do die, come back. So there's literally no reason to have any suspense while watching this, which makes it just a boring experience. Yes, visually, it's got pretty cool fight sequences, but that's literally the minimum that an action movie could do. The story is severely lacking because, and I know people don't go see Transformers to see the story, but like there's nothing to hold on to suspense-wise if we know that everything's going to be okay in the end. You know that no one's going to die. You know the world's not going to be destroyed, so what the fuck are we caring about? And that's my biggest problem with this, and even Bumblebee, which I still enjoyed. But the Bumblebee didn't have as big of stakes because it wasn't about the world ending. I believe. I could be wrong. I haven't seen it since it was in theaters.
Yeah, I don't know why they made such a big... they did a huge ordeal, like a big villain in this. And
like a Thanos level.
It was bigger than a Thanos level. Yeah. This was like Galactus level.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought that in and then did a prequel. Like maybe like do one after, or like even do one. No, I think this villain definitely needed to be after all the other movies.
Mm-hmm.
But like they could have done a prequel even before the 90s. The best part about the 90s and the best part about this movie period was its soundtrack.
Yeah.
The soundtrack was a fucking bop.
Yeah.
But I mean, like after mostly the soundtrack, there was nothing that made it felt like it was in the 90s at all. And what I was getting to is like with this movie being like a prequel, I feel like the stakes did not need to be nearly as high, and it would have worked out just fine. Obviously, they didn't need to have Megatron in it or something like that, but
yeah.
I mean, I felt like there could have been stakes that were high enough to not make it be like, oh shit, the world's gonna. Well, it's not really gonna end. Really,
yeah, we know it's not gonna end unless this is the first Transformers movie.
This is the 90s, and one did take place in 2007. Sam Witwicky was actually there, and and then after that as well. And I'm pretty sure the world was still alive. Unless we're doing some multiverse shit now, then that's a whole different fucking thing. Please don't do that.
Stop doing the multiverse.
But yeah, the action sequences, they were good, but for the most part, I kept getting annoyed because they would like fight one robot, and there would be like 7 Autobots, and then what were they called? The Technocrons, where they started dancing and shit like a Viking. There was the opposite that wasn't the Decepticons that I can't remember the names of. I'm sorry.
Tryptophans, or
they were.
That's the thing that
all 7 Autobots would fight one Technicon or whatever the fuck it was called. And you're like, what are they all doing? There's no way this one dude's holding this whole, like, and then they'd be like a scene where like it would be separate, And like, what are those other 6 people doing right now?
Yeah.
They're not fighting anybody. They weren't off screen fighting somebody. They're literally just
standing around.
It's not our time to be on screen.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's a very. It felt like they had ideas for scenes and then filled in the blanks. Which, yes, if you really break down writing, that's all it is ideas for scenes and then fill in the blanks. But like, they didn't connect the scenes in the blanks well enough. So it really just kind of left a lot of questions that were more distracting. They don't need to answer them, but they were so distracting that it was just like, what the fuck is going on? And it really just became more annoying and, in a way, boring than I would even hope from like a Transformers movie. This wasn't as long as one of the Michael Bay ones, which was nice, because those ones were like, those ones thought they were Scorsese,
or is completely
without
flashy.
being good, or is flashy, and not that annoying, disgusting blue and orange tint where it makes white people look like Donald Trump. So it's,
What am I doing here? What's going on?
Optimus Prime. But
He was the best Prime. I'll say it now.
we got the best Prime, the best Prime. I'm the best Prime.
He fights for America. What more could you want?
But it was just sloppy and thrown together. It's just annoying. It was annoying.
It was. I'll tell you what it was. It was just another Transformers movie.
Yes. Bumblebee, the movie, added a different thing to it. Pretty sure those kids just snuck into a theater through
so, too.
exit door. Don't do that, because that's how a certain thing in 2012 happened. So you're going to raise a lot of flags if you do that. But anyway, I lost my train of thought because those kids.
Bumblebee
did a little different thing. It was more of a coming-of-age story for Haley Steinfeld's character than it was just, saving the world. To the defense of the rest of the movies, I don't really remember much of the Bumblebee, so I could be completely misremembering it, but I remember enjoying it a lot more, and it felt more different. And this was just more of the same in a bad way. Better than the Michael Bay ones, in my opinion.
Yes.
Except for maybe the first one.
Because the jokes in the Michael Bays, they're hard to listen to.
Yes.
And I don't know. Especially the Mark Wahlberg ones.
Yeah. I enjoyed the main human characters in this with Anthony Ramos, and I don't remember her name, and I don't have
the Fish Bottom.
Is that her name?
Dominique
Fishback.
Sorry, not
Yes,
Fish Bottom.
They were great. I enjoyed their characters a lot. Definitely liked them more than Shia LaBeouf's character, personally speaking. And that's not a Shia LaBeouf thing. I just thought his character in the first 2-3 Transformers was annoying.
Well, that was his character trait.
Yes, that you shouldn't have your protagonist's character trait be annoying. They were heroes that I could root for. They had things to fight for other than the world. It's just, you take all interesting things out of it. You're just like, we gotta save everyone. I don't give a shit.
Autobots.
Like that's such a vague concept, saving the world, that it's uninteresting.
Well, especially with all of these movies feeling like a copy and paste.
Yes.
There's Autobots, Decepticons, big bad guy,
Tryptophans,
CGI fight out the ass, Bumblebee being OP as fuck.
Yeah, it's just
which is fine, by the way.
Yeah.
Bumblebee's amazing.
it's just, Transformers fans are gonna love this movie, and I'm glad for them. I'm happy that they're gonna enjoy it. For us people who are forced to see it because it's the only movie that came out, and you have an addiction going to the movie theater.
Yep.
It's not gonna give you much.
Yeah.
Except for an awesome soundtrack.
A great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack.
Really great soundtrack.
And nice shots of Machu Picchu. But then shots of them destroying Machu Picchu were not as nice. Don't destroy Machu Picchu.
Yeah, why would you mess up Pikachu like that?
How dare you?
Unfathomable.
Yeah, well, that's really all I gotta say. It's a movie that Transformers fans are gonna love. Everyone else is gonna forget about it.
I already did.
Yes. Ratings. I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 5.
I myself was fighting between a 2 and a 2.5, but I feel like the ending made it a 2.
Yeah, it's got a bad ending. A very slow ending, which is
Very
weird because
slow.
endings should not be slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then again, it felt copy paste.
Yeah.
Alright, we saved the world. It's me, Optimus Prime. We've made an ally. Are we still alive?
If that guy
double
ever
teams.
dies, they could get Liam Neeson to do his voice.
What's crazy? I thought he did die.
He might be dead. I don't know. Check to see if he's
Kinda
dead.
want to- I could have sworn I saw that he died, and I was like, oh, gasp! Oh, he's
Still
he's
alive.
Still alive.
Yeah,
Where the fuck did I read that he was dead?
probably some.
Hey,
fake
he's still
news
alive.
site.
Congratulations.
Yes, but yeah, if you saw Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, what did you think? Let us know down in the comments below. Which of the Malabots, whatever it is, the animal ones, the Beast Wars ones, Mammalbots, Mammalbits,
I forget what they were called.
and also which part of the car are they sitting in? Like which part of the Transformer? Is it the belly? Is it the rectum? Is it the?
Well, that's definitely a penis.
That's definitely a penis.